Okay, so now let's get to, I'm gonna do Married to Medicine. I'm Married to Medicine series, and then I'll do Bell Collective. Married to Medicine, season 10, episode 5. I was like, I wrote down the notes a long time ago. I just didn't record the video. Heavenly and her doctor, Heavenly and her daughter are talking about prom, and it made me think about I was trying to figure out how she didn't know that what her daughter's plans were and not coming home. I had plans. I stayed at the Ritz-Carlton that night. Like I went all out for prom. But anyway, Phaedra in Quad's house, Heavenly comes over. They discuss the wedding. They're very critical about the wedding. I don't know how I feel about. I'm sure people are critical about, which makes sense. People always have something negative to say. Um, I don't, I don't like Phaedra, and I know that Phaedra has a crew of people who like her. I just don't. She doesn't have anything. Her shade is not. I don't know. She just rubs me the wrong way. Anyway, so Heavenly talked about how she wasn't on the list. So Quad's like, wait a second, you mean your BFF put you off the list? So Phaedra was um but she Heavenly was trying to point out saying, look, I didn't do anything. And I'm like, Heavenly, you know you did something. You but she was like, Phaedra was the one that brought Quad to the bachelorette party. So she should be off the list. But we know that Phaedra is the one who found the pastor, and that's the reason why Sweet Tea didn't take her off the list. Heavenly stepped talks about how Quad, you step away from the group. People are frustrated and you really don't take accountability. She tried to get Quad to take accountability. This is the only time that we ever get Quad to take accountability. Um, we see Dr. Jackie talking to the brat. Nothing here really to talk about. Simone and the husband are doing a collage, and to try to remember why they are married. Okay. And all the good times in their marriage. Cecil talks about, and this is a nice moment where Simone brings up how they need to get on the same page about Miles. Miles is 26. He doesn't have a college degree yet. He seems to be moving in slow motion. She's trying to get her son to be moving in quicker motion, and this is not working very well. She wants Miles to start paying rent and finish school. When and Cecil is doesn't think that they need to hurry in the same way. Phaedra sends invites to the butler, to Toya's first, Simone, Heavenly, and Dr. Jackie. I do think that Heavenly is so entertaining and trying to and looking at that, the invitation. Toya gives this IB party, Dr. Simone and Sweet Tea. Now I appreciate this conversation in talking about um their vaginal health, right? And having these discussions about trying to get pregnant and how it's not a good thing when you're trying to get pregnant and you're having spotting and all of these things. Sweet Tea did not get the invite. When she happens to look at the invitation, she happens to look down. Simone's like, well, you can be in the car with me. Simone and Toya are riding together. Phaedra's event, I love at 10:58 at night. They go to a funeral home. Heavenly is freaking out. I love how when Phaedra comes down the aisle, I thought it was hilarious. Heavenly's expressions throughout this whole thing was hilarious. They just like, look, sweetie, you weren't invited. I don't know why you here. Um, she goes and talks about how everyone here is intelligent. She even says tennis expert in regards to Toya, which had me dying because that's rude. Um, uh, Heavenly stands up to clap, and then when she sees that there's a casket going, she's like, "Oh my God, what is this?" Then you have the organ player talking when Quad, backing up what Quad was saying and trying to bury the hatchets. You know, um, Heavenly has said that this was not good and how um Phaedra went in on Sweet Tea heavily and made really disrespectful comments, but they cut it out. Quads, I guess the whole quad forgiveness train did not work, even worse than what we saw. Dr. Jackie's like ready for what? Um, and to bury the hatchet. She's like, we don't have any hatchets, but here, Dr. Jackie's like, look, you could have called or texted me on this. You did not have to do this. The dramatics isn't necessary. Heavenly's like, I don't have any problems. But then she's like, I don't have a problem with Sweet Tea. She directs it to Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea's like, look, you said my marriage is gonna fail. Heavenly was like, I'm concerned. I said I was concerned, and because of some of the things that she sees, and also looking at Dr. G's history with Quad. Um, Heavenly's like, I'm a grown woman. She keeps calling Sweet Tea little girl. This is a theme. They keep making fun of Sweet Tea because of how young she is. She is 31. And she's like, look, you the one who has daddy issues. They look like they're about to get into a fight. And she's like, that's why you married him. And they eventually get the women to settle down. And Simone's like, do you, well, she does, Quad makes a comment to Sweet Tea. She's like, I don't really know you. So we don't have any beef or anything. Simone's like, my issue is, do you see us as equals or do you stand on an island alone? And Quad's like, the only island I want to go to is like, the whole making reference to going to traveling to islands, whatever. Toya is like, they will not be okay with each other because of the negative things that she said about the family, her family. And Quad's like, yeah, but what about you? Did you say about me? And this is the thing that people have with Quad, and this is over and over again. You never say, take accountability for what you say. So then somebody can take accountability for what they said. But since you're never going to stand up and talk about accountability for what you said, you're going to always have this tension. Phaedra's like, look, I thought she was gonna be humble. And uh, so they have a repass. Sweet Tea confronts Phaedra about being Quad, and this was not a place to meet her husband's ex-wife. She's like, look, I talked to Dr. G, um, and and Sweet Tea's like, look, I don't have a problem with Quad. I had a problem with you in how you did it. And she thought it was not okay. And Phaedra thought it was okay to bring her because y'all didn't have any beef. She's like, yeah, but not at my bachelorette party. Um, Quad's like, well, people have been saying that you've been looking me up and wanting to know more about me. And she's like, look, there's a place and a time, and this was not the place. Quad couldn't really say much to that. Toya, I need Quad to stop being malicious. Hmm. Um, Phaedra and Quad is like, but what did you do to me? So Phaedra goes, okay, can you at least agree that you said malicious things? So Quad doesn't really want to even admit that. So Toya gives examples. You called us a thief. You did this, right? And Quad wants to focus on what has really been done to her. And Jackie is like, look, we have been down this road so many times. And Jackie's over it. I don't want to hear this conversation about what we've done to her, and she doesn't want to take accountability. So Quad feels like, well, maybe there's been some progress. Dr. Jackie's like, yeah, there's been no progress. It's weird that Quad really thinks she was successful. She's really self-centered. She claims that look, Quad has a good heart, but she is very self-centered and she wants to be catered to. And that is really difficult. I could not be a friend to Quad. She's exhausting. She is exhausting. And I don't know. Like she was exhausting when I would didn't have much, when I would be in college or when I was in school. Like there's only so much catering you can do to a person. And I don't have that energy, especially now as a grown woman, got kids, husband, career. I couldn't do it. So kudos to them who do. Bye.